Hey, what's up, you guys? Dylan here. I was watching YouTube these past couple of days, and I found this YouTuber, Fanavision, and I couldn't stop watching his videos. I first started with his Walmart videos because I used to work at Walmart, and I just wanted to see what he had to say, and it was like a trip down memory lane, and not in a good way, because working at Walmart is complete shit. But it got me thinking about some stories I have from Walmart. So here's 3 stories from Walmart about crazy customers that I had. The first one, I call the custody battle in the parking lot. There was a man walking out with his daughter. I was on break, and everything was normal at first until this screaming woman comes up and starts like berating the man in front of the child about how she wishes she would have never met him. She grabbed the child's hand and starts taking her to her car. And he's still trying to grab her, and she starts hitting him like over and over again. And he's not responding at all to this. He got hit in the face like 30 to 50 times, like maybe even more. He kept getting hit in the groin, in the face, and then like she put the girl. I'm assuming it's their daughter. Assuming like it's his ex-wife or something. But she put him. She put her in her like little minivan, and he said, "I'm not letting you leave with her." And he was trying to get her out. She started hitting him more and more and more. And at this point, we got an assistant manager out there, and he finally, through all of the getting hit in the face and the groin, he like did not react at all. Grabbed her out of the car and starts walking away. She starts still hitting him with the child in his hands. And the assistant manager said, "We're going to call the cops if you don't leave." And she starts like berating the assistant manager, and she's like, "Okay, well, I'm on the phone with the cops right now, so you're gonna get arrested if you keep doing this. You've been asked to leave. Now it's trespassing and assault." And then she did end up leaving. The cops came and they took his statement, but it was just absolutely crazy that anyone could react that way with a child right there. We were all just dumbfounded. We didn't know what was happening. Of course, like Walmart, how all the employees operate is as soon as anything happens like that, everyone, no matter where in the store, they hear about it and they will come out and watch. So we had like most of the store outside just watching, and yeah, it was pretty terrible. Okay, number 2, I call her the goat milk old lady. This is when I was working in the dairy, and I'm standing there stocking, obviously, we're not allowed to sit. I was standing there stocking, and this old lady comes up to me, and she just tells me, like, "You're out of goat milk." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds more like an old man." "You're out of goat milk." So I was like, "Okay, I'll come and see." And I didn't even know I didn't know what goat milk was, to be honest. I was just like, okay. She took me over there. She's yelling at me, telling me that like it's so stupid that we're out of goat milk. She showed me where it is, like where it usually is, and I scanned it. I'm like, okay, we don't have any more in the back. And of course, she's like, "Can you go back and look?" And I'm like, "I guess so." And then I went back there, and I looked, and I'm like, none back here. I worked like more an afternoon shift, so the pallets were already in the cooler, and if they did come in, I wouldn't know without tearing everything down. But I didn't see any, and I went out and I told her, and she was not happy about that at all. She starts going on this long tangent about how like we never have anything that she wants, and then she proceeds to grab my arm and pull me over to the bicycles and to get a bicycle down. I told her I can get someone to help her. She wanted me to help her, and she said, "If you don't help me, I'm going to tell your manager," which of course I wasn't scared of, because like it's nearly impossible to get fired from Walmart, like unless you're like a serial killer, and they'll probably still keep you on part-time. But she took us over. I was like, okay, whatever. I walked over there and I kept telling her I'm going to need to get someone else to get it down. I don't know anything about this side of the store. And so we got over there, and lo and behold, I said, "Okay, that's the one you want. I'll go get someone." She's like, "You can't even do it yourself." I'm like, "Already told you that." But I went to the back. I found someone, and she made me wait there with her. I was hoping the one of the assistant managers walked by, and I was trying to kind of like pawn her off on them because, you know, what, like, I need to get back to work because if I didn't finish my work, then I always got berated at the end of the night by the manager. So, but all that happened was the assistant manager stayed there and then said that I couldn't leave either, which is an entire waste of manpower. But anyway, sorry, I have my little book of crappy customers. Okay, third one are these inbreds, which, you know, they looked inbred. They were like trailer trash people. I mean, I hate judging people by appearance, but I think I'm fully justified after you hear, and you probably think so too after you hear this. Anyway, there was 3 people. They all look like the man. There was a tall, balding man that like looked anorexic. There was a woman like that was really fat and loud, and then there's kid. There was a loud commotion. At this time, I worked in hardware, which is right up from sporting goods. And I heard this loud commotion, and I was like, okay, what's that? I think I'll go and try helping. I went down there, and they're behind the counter for some reason, and she says, the fat lady says, "Hey, are you the one that works sporting goods?" And I was like, "No, but what can I help? I can maybe get someone." She's like, "You're a retard. You're stupid. Why do I need your help if you don't even work over here?" And I was like, "Good question." And I just turned around and walked away. And I went to get a shift manager or a shift supervisor, which was in the next aisle or like a couple aisles down. And I told her, I'm like, "Hey, there's, you know, they're being loud. They need help." And she went over there, and the freaking woman had the nerve to get in the shift manager's face. And I told the shift manager, like, she was calling me names and everything. I was just like, I don't really care, but, like, you know, there's the information for you. She went over, and the lady had the nerve to, like, start yelling in this lady's face. And this is, she had to be, like, this shift manager was, like, 5 foot. And she, like, was, like, had curly gray hair. She was an old lady. And, but she had, like, a big mouth on her. So as soon as she went over and the lady started yelling in her face, she's like, no, you do not. If you do not like how the store is run, you do not talk to our employees like this, you can get the fuck out of my store. And she's like, I want to talk to your higher ups. She's like, you can go find them, but until then, get the fuck out of my store. And I was like, you go, lady. Man. It was really satisfying on my part. I was like, I don't give a fuck if they come back or not. I hope they don't. But yeah, they ended up leaving. The shift supervisor just got told that they can't talk to customers that way, which I was like, yeah, whatever. I mean, like, I'm glad she stood up for me and herself. After that, after all this was over, this like lady comes over to me and she just says, "Can I have a hug?" And I was like, and I forgot about this situation like altogether. I was like, it didn't bother me at all, and so I was pretty much like, yeah, sure. Here, I'll give you a hug. And she's like, "You don't deserve to be treated like that." And I was like, "Oh yeah," and like, thanks. I'm glad that at least someone knows that like people that work in retail are still people, and we're not just some like robotic idiots. Anyway, I know I named this the 3 stories. I didn't want to name it 4 because 4 is a weird number when it comes to like these like encounter videos. So, but here's a bonus one, so it doesn't count as 4, it's just a bonus one. Tub lady. This lady, we always knew to avoid her. When you first come in contact her, you always know to avoid her. You always just like, she has an aura about her. Like, as soon as you like talk to her, you realize why. She ropes you into a conversation, talks about her cats and what have you. And it always ends with her asking about these plastic tubs. And the first time that it happened, she came over and she asked if we could get help with it. We went over there, me and my supervisor, because like we were pretty chill together. It was towards the end of our shift, and we're like, yeah, sure, whatever. So we went over there, and she asked which one of these do not leak. And it was like the plastic containers you store things in, and we were wondering like, why would she need it not to leak? Like, what's she storing in it? Because usually people don't put things that are gonna like leak through. They don't just pour liquid into it. So we just looked at her confused, and she's like, Oh, well, I should explain. I actually bathe in these. And we just looked at each other like, okay. And, so, like, she's like, yeah, babies bathe in, little plastic tubs. And I figure these fit me. So, like, it's more, hygienic to, bathe in a plastic tub and just get a new one every week, than, bathe in a bathtub that gets dirty. And we're just looking at each other like, okay, sure. And so like after like a really awkward conversation, she ended up we finally got away from her. And every time after that she came in, we would always kind of haze new people. And as soon as we saw her, we would just like tell one of the new guys to go over and ask her if she needs any help, just because we knew where it was gonna go every single time. Anyway, those were 4 stories, 3 stories, and a bonus, because I would be a liar if I said 4, because, look at the title. I hope you enjoyed. If you want more videos of stories from, my past work places, let me know, and I will try my best. I don't know how to end videos, so I think I'll end it with this. Talk to strangers, it's fun.